Welcome back to another episode of The Whole Lawyer. We're excited to have you back, and we have a very special guest today. But before we get into that, please like, share, and subscribe to The Whole Lawyer podcast. That allows us to bring more amazing guests on, that allows us to push more content out, and to grow the podcast. So please do that on all the platforms you get your podcast content. Today's guest is the embodiment of legal excellence, entrepreneurship, and purpose-driven leadership. She's an attorney, philanthropist, and entrepreneur. As the managing attorney of the Townsend law firm, PLLC, she leads a practice specializing in business law, sports and entertainment law, and estate planning. Headquartered in New York, gang, her firm was earned national recognition with attorneys named to best lawyers in America. Ones to watch in the Washington, D.C. Power 100 Young Lawyers list. A proud graduate of the University of District of Columbia David A. Clark School of Law, gang. She has built a career at the intersection of law, business, and impact. But her work does not stop in the courtroom. She is also the co-founder of the Townsend Family Foundation, supporting education and healthcare initiatives in both the United States and Jamaica. The foundation has made meaningful contributions to Unionville High School and most recently the Jamaica Cancer Society. In addition, she serves as a member of the Global Jamaica Diaspora Council in partnership with Jamaica's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, strengthening ties between the diaspora and the Jamaica's development efforts. Please join me in welcoming a leader who represents what it means to be a whole lawyer, Miss Kadian Townsend. Welcome to the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you. It is an honor to be here. I am so grateful to be having this conversation with you.
Dope. Thank you for being here. So the official whole lawyer opening question is, if I was not an attorney, I would be a what?
I was not an attorney. I would probably be a journalist. I really do enjoy writing. Yes. My mom is a phenomenal writer. She actually just released her first book.
Dope.
So yeah, it's
You
kind of
plug
in
it?
my
What's the name
blood.
of the book? You can plug it if you want.
Oh, the name of the book is All About You, God's Masterpiece by Caroline Wilson. So make sure I get it on Amazon. But yeah, I enjoy writing, and I think, maybe like traveling the world, talking with people and like learning their stories or what's happening in our world would be really cool to do. So I'll probably be a journalist.
That's interesting, especially in 2026, it feels like journalism is like under fire, especially with social media and all things. It feels like what defines an actual journalist, it feels like anybody could be a journalist. Is the true essence of writing still there when it comes to journalism? Has that changed in your mind in terms of like the current climate of journalism?
Yes, for those points that you pointed out, but also like a huge thing, right? When we think about First Amendment, not to like hop into the legal world, but
No.
you think about censorship, like how you tell stories, what you're able to say, if you're able to be your full self, give your full opinions. We see people lose their jobs for speaking out about things. We see people get canceled or whatever. So, yeah, in 2026, journalism, I would definitely say is one of those careers that's like under fire.
Oh yeah, for sure. So you did bring up the legal side for it. Did you feel like your love for journalism helped you in law school? Because I know we did a lot of writing. Do you feel like you had like an upper edge because you was already a beast at writing, or no?
I don't know if I was a beast at writing, but I think I actually did better on the writing than like multiple choice, which is, I don't know if that's like common, but yeah, I was a much stronger writer than I was like multiple choice. I think law school, it's just hard to do that like process of elimination because it's like two of the answers look the same. It could be it could go either way.
Facts.
So that kind of like tripped me up a lot. But yeah, writing, that was one of my stronger suits in law school.
Nah, I think that is impressive. I feel like, especially on the bar exam or even like law school exams, you're such time pressured and you have to write in a very specific way. I think that's very difficult to do. As opposed to like multiple choice, there is a skill to it, but if you just choose C every other answer, you might get your chances might be good.
Right.
But you definitely right. There's questions to this day I'm like, no, this is the answer for multiple choice. You can't tell me this can't be one of the answers.
Right.
It is frustrating.
And they would tell you like two answers could be true. It's like, what does that mean? Like, how am I wrong?
Exactly, because like one of them is to like trip you up, and then one of them is the actual Like, stop playing games with me, bro. Just let me
Right.
just give my law degree. Stop playing around.
Right.
So you didn't get into journalism. You decided to become a lawyer. Speak a little bit about what you do right now. How did you get to your current position?
So what I do right now, to kind of give a background,
Mm-hmm.
so after law school, I went back to the firm that I was with prior to law school. So I was a paralegal before law school. I don't want to like jump your questions if you're gonna ask more
But yeah,
background.
I was gonna start here
Um,
and work our way back, but no, go do your thing.
Okay,
Go
no,
ahead.
that's
No, no.
fine. So, so I went to back to the firm that I was with before as a paralegal, and
Yeah.
they specialize in insurance defense litigation and like coverage work, but not like car accident insurance, more like professional liability. So with companies, the directors and officers, they usually have insurance, right? So I like to use Elon Musk as an example because that's probably one of the easiest ways to illustrate it. Um, Elon Musk, he makes statements on Twitter, right? And then a shareholder sues him. He's not paying his legal fees in generally, he's not, or in most circumstances, he's not paying his legal fees out of pocket, right? Like he has insurance that covers statements that he might make or things that might, issues that might arrive out of him doing work for Twitter or Tesla or whatever. So, at the old firm, I used to work on cases like that, advising the insurance coverage, like, okay, this is covered, this is not covered. Yeah, so that's pretty much what I did. So let's
Right.
say that you work for firm A, he hires you as his defense counsel in the
Mm-hmm.
lawsuit, right? So
Mm-hmm.
you're representing him directly in the lawsuit, but then he's sending us your bills. So you would send
Mm-hmm.
the insurance company the bills, and then the insurance company would then hire us. We will technically be like outside counsel to review the bills. So as a 1L, I spent a lot of time reviewing like these $1 million legal invoices. Like, are these reasonable? Is this something that is covered? Is this administrative work that a lawyer is doing that a paralegal should be doing? Because these firms, they charge like $700 an hour, $1,200, 2,000. If it's a securities litigation, it's like
Yeah.
$2,000 an hour for a New York lawyer. So as a one out, I spent a lot of time reviewing legal fees and then advising the insurance company whether or not it's covered, and then they would go back to the actual defense counsel who's representing in the litigation and figure it out like that.
And yeah, I'd be
So
like, stop playing around. That phone call didn't take 2 hours. You lying? Like, we're not gonna pay out that much because
no,
they even using
literally,
their
and like
retained.
they do, and like you didn't have to fly first class. You could have been in coach, like
Dang. Yeah,
yeah. So yeah,
that's
or
so
like
dope.
dinner from STK,
Right.
stuff like that.
Right.
It's yeah,
You could have went to Yard House. You would have to go. You had to go to a Michelin
exactly,
star restaurant just to fly in that one night.
exactly.
Dang, that's
Yeah,
crazy. It keeps them in check
yeah,
because that's how some of these attorneys make their money. It's all about billing. It's all about retainers. So they'll charge it up if they have to, for sure.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's the whole process that goes on behind the scenes that
Yeah.
the average person might not think about.
That's real. So you said you was a paralegal there through law school. So were you you in the evening program, right? Or full time?
No, I
Okay.
was there full time. So I was a paralegal there before law school. And then
Mm,
when I started law school, first year I didn't work. As I advise everybody, if you're able to not work, don't work because it's
mm-hmm.
one hell of a year.
Yeah.
So yes, and then second year, I think second semester, I started working like a couple of hours remotely
Mm-hmm.
because remember the pandemic happened, so that's when like things got really flexible with like
Yeah.
remote work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I can't remember if it was like second semester, second year, or third year,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, towards the end of like law school, I was working part time.
Got you. That's interesting because you're right. There are people who work before law school. I worked through law school, and I had to weigh the pros and the cons before I started. So you was working as a paralegal before law school. What was the thought process you went into for leaving your job? Because you were making money, you had some security, but you still had this dream to become a lawyer. What was the pros and the cons you were weighing between like working while going through law school and quitting your job and just starting law school full time? Because I know people are making that decision right now.
Yeah, so I actually got pushed into this a little bit. It's
Mm.
always, and this is like an exclusive because I haven't shared this with anybody really
Okay,
outside of
let's
my family,
go.
but
Exclusive on the whole lawyer.
you
We
heard
like
it here
those.
first.
Let's go. Let's get it.
But yeah, so I always had a dream of owning my own practice and building a firm.
Hmm.
And I was trying to be very strategic about, how I accomplish that, like trying to save as much, trying to make sure that I learn as much as I can. That's one thing that I have mentors that, they know I'm very entrepreneurial. And
Yeah.
one of my mentors, he told me, like, I know you really want to, step out and hang your shingle, but like learn as much as you can. So stay there as long as you can and learn.
Mm,
And I think that in retrospect, that was a great advice. Um, but to answer your question, it wasn't something that I said like, yeah, I'm gonna just like quit. It was more of like my entrepreneurial desires started to conflict a
mm,
little bit with like work, and it resulted in me having to make that pivot a little sooner than I thought. So yeah, that's kind of how it happened. It happened a little like surprising,
mm,
but I think it was all a part of God's plan. I'm still like figuring out. So it's pretty fresh. I made the leap in September of last year. And like, I cannot even tell you how God has just been showing up. Like,
man.
I left the job on Monday. And the following Monday, I got a call to represent like one of the biggest artists like in the world. It's really crazy. It's really crazy. So this happened. So the Monday happens. I go
Yeah.
into work. I find out like it's gonna be my last day at work.
Yeah.
Surprising to me. Like I'm just kind of like in shambles, not really know what I'm doing. To just be honest, like I'm just like I
Man.
didn't really plan for this, and um, you know, my family and I we had just bought a house a month prior, so it's
Hmm.
like to lose your job after just moving into a new house, not really a good plan.
Yeah.
It's not a part of the plan, you
Yeah.
know.
No,
So
life be life.
I was on my life be life, and I was talking to one of my friends, and he was just like, take a day or so to get to reality of what just happened and go through the
Yeah.
feelings of how you feel, but like life continues, so you can't like dwell there. So that happened like on a Monday. Like I said, the following Monday, I'm getting ready to head out to Pennsylvania. Heading out, heading there, and I got a call from a friend, and he was just like, "I know you do entertainment law, and we're looking for someone in New York who can handle this case. And like, you'd have the thing is, you have to be in court on like Wednesday. This is Monday night, so I'm like, okay, like I'm all ears, like let me hear." So he tells me the fact pattern, and it's like a breach of contract type case, and I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, like I've handled those matters before. But obviously, like this is my first time, like actually under my own practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I was just like, this is what I'm doing now. This I have to give it my all. So I took the leap, and then he told me who it was, and I put my phone on mute, like I was screaming, like, "What?" But then I unmuted. I'm like, yeah, sure, absolutely, I'd love the opportunity.
So that's an amazing opportunity. Did you? So how did you feel when you showed up to court on Wednesday? Did you feel like you had to? How much you had to prepare? Or what was your mindset going into it?
Yes, so I definitely did have to prepare those. It was like 48 hours. So the 48 hours was one, getting up to speed and
Yeah.
abreast of the docket, like everything that was filed before, um, making sure that I understood the issues concerning him.
Hmm.
There are other parties involved, but when you go into a case, you're there to represent your client and do so
Yeah.
zealously.
Yeah.
So making sure that I had a good grip on the facts of the case, the issues, and also
Mm,
just showing up confidently. I think a huge part of being a lawyer is just being confident. So while I was preparing for the legal part of it, there's also preparation that goes into it mentally, right? Like you're showing up
mm,
in court. At my other job, the prior job, I wasn't in court every day. So I'm not, it's a different skill set that comes with that. So also preparing
yeah.
with that. I worked on a lot of interesting cases and some cases of, high magnitude at the prior firm, but
Yeah.
now doing it independently, it requires a different level of preparation. So yeah, that 48 hours was a lot of preparation that went into it.
Yeah.
And yeah, my brother shared one thing with me though the morning of court. He was just like, you're smart. He affirmed me, and then he said, just have fun with it. And that has stuck with me. Like I write that down all the time. Just have fun with it. Like I think we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to show up and to win. But at the
Mm,
end of the day, like just have fun with it. Just have fun
yeah.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah. And especially because the more you progress in this profession, You deal with the imposter syndrome, especially we're still young. I feel like we're still definitely young in this profession to being attorneys. The more and more you learn and the more you see, you also realize the standard of what people have been practicing for 20 years ain't that good. Like some of these attorneys, you
Yes.
you kind of you feel kind of intimidated, but then we get to talking, we get to laying out the evidence, and we get to understand him. Like, yeah, I don't know why I was afraid of you. Like, I could wipe the floor with you, or we're just at the same level. Where there's nothing to be afraid of because if I'm prepared, there's nothing to be afraid of. I know what I'm doing. I put in the time. I put in the work. Like you said, I'm confident. I'm gonna have fun with this. There's nothing to be afraid of. So you definitely learn that as you go along. It's like, oh, this you ain't the big bad wolf. Like I can handle this. We gonna be all right in this whole thing.
Right.
That's dope. Also,
100%.
I think it's a big lesson on connections. How did you even? So the person that called you, did you already know them? Like, was it like a referral from somebody else? Like, how was that connection even made?
And that's another, this is also why I know it's so divine and it's just like
Yeah.
God's plan.
Mhm.
The person that called me, I met him on the train. Such a New York story. I met him on the
Yeah, for
train
sure.
a
For sure.
month prior, like a month
Wow.
prior. So this is like someone that he's also an attorney. We
Yeah.
met on the train. I think we started talking because I like to get dressed.
Mhm.
So he said something in my mouth like, I like your outfit, and I saw that he had a briefcase. I'm like, he looks like a lawyer, and I was like, are you a lawyer? And we just became friends, and that's
Mm.
really how it happened. And I think that's a good lesson in networking. Like networking is not just showing up at networking events. The moment you step outside of your house, you're networking. The people that you meet, you never know who they are. You could be sitting next to your next boss. You could be sitting next to your next client. Just
Mhm.
be nice, be kind to people, be genuine. Don't always like try to see what opportunities you could get from something. Just learning about people and building relationships. I think that's very
Mm.
important without any intentions, just people to people, person to person. So
100%. And it's a lesson in getting fly. Like I like how you still it is. Like, I like
I
to get dressed.
like to get dressed.
I like to get dressed. You know what I'm saying? I like to put on something fly from time to time. That helps. That helps. How I want to talk
Yes,
about that. How much has fashion impacted, like when you go into how you get dressed for work? How much effort do you put into that? How much does that mean to you in expressing yourself in this profession?
it's meaning so much more to me every single day. And my
Really?
mom laughs at this because I say it's a part of my ministry. Like, get dressed is part of my ministry. And
I
I
like
say
that.
that because I've met so many people just off of being well dressed. Like my
Mm-hmm.
mentor, Peter Eikenberry, he used to tell me, how you dress is how you will be addressed. And that has always stuck with me. Like, if you think
Mm-hmm.
about it, like we all do it consciously, subconsciously. If someone walks into a room with sweats and they're sagging or they just don't look as put together,
Well,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
you
yeah.
don't really pay much attention. But if someone walks into the room and they have on a suit and they look very polished and very neat, in your head you're like, who's that person?
Mm-hmm.
We just all associate it differently. I don't make the rules. It's just the facts of what it is. So that kind of always stuck with me.
Yeah.
And over the years, I've met people just off of I like your shirt, and then it starts a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
I remember being at a bar association event, and I had on like this black and white like blazer, like house suit blazer, very polished, very nice. And what a judge came over to me, and she was like, she had on something similar. And she was like, I just had to come over here to tell you that you look fabulous and your jacket's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I like yours. And we just started having a conversation about fashion. And now that has become one
Yeah.
of my friends, you
Yeah.
know?
Mm-hmm.
So just those little things, for me, it's just been a conversation starter, whether I'm giving someone a compliment on something that I like that they're wearing
Yeah.
or something else, or going to an event and meeting someone a year later and they're like, I remember you. You were the girl that had on the full pink outfit. I'm like, yeah, I
Mm.
was. Oh, you were
You
at that
went
event
full
too.
pink. Oh Lord, you come with the cam. You come with the cam first.
You
No,
gotta
that's
be remembered. Like they might not
mm,
remember your name, but they remember. Like I remember seeing you like in a room full of attorneys, rows in black, gray, blue,
bruh.
white.
No facts.
So if
Facts.
you show up and I have like blue suits, green suits, they're gonna
Hmm.
remember you like the girl that had on the green suit.
I think it's one of those how you do one thing is how you do everything. I think it means something when you see somebody in a nice fitted suit or nice shoes, something clean, polished, ironed, or even like when it comes to smells too. Like if you smell good, it comes to like if you take. I see how you're detailed in your outfits. That makes me trust you for some reason. You know what I'm saying? Like, and there's other things that show those things too. But I feel like that's what when it comes to fashion too. Like if you take good care of yourself in that way, for some reason I feel like I could trust you in other things. So I think that's what it means sometimes. And you're right. I feel like I've been more conscious and aware too of how I show up to court and the things I do, and even my hair and all these different things like that. I think it matters in your appearance and how you show up in these spaces. And you're right; they definitely remember you. I also think women do a way better job at that too. I feel like men are kind of hesitant to. Well, I like your jacket. But women are like, oh, that's an easy entryway for y'all. Like y'all will comment the earrings, y'all comment the shoes out the gate. Like that's the easy entryway. But I think that's fire. I think that's a dope nugget for people to know. All right,
Thank you.
so we're gonna shift gears. We're gonna do a game real quick because you're Jamaican. We're gonna do a this or that. We're gonna do a Jamaican food showdown.
Ooh, okay.
Yes.
I was
So
actually
this.
gonna say just before you say that,
Mhm.
I was going to say I think that our consciousness about being polished is also a tribute to like growing up Jamaican. When you said iron, I was like, yeah, I know. Your parents probably drilled that in your head, like, do not leave this house without ironing your shirt. So,
Yo,
yes,
drilled in your brain. You gotta
yes.
get the crease in the pants. Like you ain't leaving until the crease is in the pants. All the wrinkles is out. You gotta sprinkle the water on that joint. Gotta
The
really
starch.
play no the starch. Oh my god! And I learned it from my pops. My pops didn't play about his suits. He loved his suits. He taught me on how to
See?
iron, making sure everything is pressed the night before.
Yes.
Don't wait till the morning of because you gotta be rushing. Like
You're gonna be right.
yeah,
Yes.
no,
No, that's
it's
a
just
part of it. That's a part of it. Yes.
100%. And you're right, because even like I went to college, I think I was like the only person in my dorm who had an iron. I'm like, y'all don't iron y'all clothes? Y'all just. And I went to a PWI, so that probably tells you all you need to know. But they got up and put their clothes on. And I'm like, y'all need to iron y'all clothes, man. Like, y'all.
Yes.
Yeah, but I didn't know how much of a cultural thing it was until I left New York. It's crazy. Um, yeah. All right. Jamaican food showdown. Let's start off with oxtail or beef patty?
Oh, oxtail, without a doubt. I wish I had some right now.
I had some yesterday. It was fire. That's probably why
Oh man.
I have this game in here. I'm still reminiscing on that good food. All right, oxtail or jerk chicken?
Um, mm, probably oxtail.
Sheesh. I see where
It
this is
depends on who
going.
makes it. If the jerk chicken is like grilled, like on the thing
Outside
outside,
the
and it
store.
have
Yeah,
that like
yeah,
smoke stick. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That might have it. I don't
That
know.
might that might take it. So a very specific jerk
Pie.
chicken over. Got you. All right, oxtail or curry goat?
Curry goat,
Rice.
white rice,
Yeah, of
a
course.
side of veg, and a thing.
I think. Curry goat or brown stew chicken?
Curry goat.
Curry goat or Escovitch fish? I haven't heard Escovitch fish.
Let's
Ew.
go escovitch fish at a festival.
Oh, for real? That's over curry goat? Wow.
It's so good.
I didn't know it is good. I haven't
So,
had it in man long.
yeah.
My godfather used to make it. It was so good, man. Uh, Escovitch fish or stew peas?
Escovitch.
Mm. Escovitch fish or Ackee and saltfish?
I can't sawfish.
Ackee is it's so goaded, but it also depends on what time of the day, right? But you can eat it at any time. But like, depending on what time of the day is, whether you decide if I really want oxtail or Ackee. But Ackee and saltfish just feel like it's
Yes,
just goaded for me.
I
Uh,
agree with you.
yeah, Ackee and saltfish or callaloo.
Mm. I think it also depends on the time of day. But I
Okay,
say kalu is probably healthier.
okay, I got you.
Good, give you good iron.
Callaloo or fried dumpling?
Fried them.
Mm. What's a good one? Fried dumpling or hard bread? That's hard. It's tough.
Yeah. Mm. It depends on what you're eating them with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
So,
if you got ackee and saltfish, you gotta go with the fried dumpling. But if you
right.
eat fish, you can go with the
With
hard.
the bread.
You gotta choose one though. Choose one. You gotta choose one.
um, Probably hard over because I feel like you could eat it with anything.
It's more versatile. I agree. Hard bread or cocoa bread?
Hard over.
Mm. Hard bread or plantain?
Hard over.
Or plantain. All right.
Yeah.
Hard bread. Hard bread or a rum cake? Last one. Hard bread or rum
Oh,
cake?
a rub cake. A rub cake. I
Nice,
love the
nice.
sweet.
So obviously your family from Jamaica. Are you from Jamaica? Were you born in Jamaica, or are your family or is your parents from Jamaica? Were you born there?
I
Or?
was born in Jamaica. I was
Nice.
born in Jamaica. I
Nice.
got
When did you
married.
come to the U.S.?
When I was 8 years
Oh,
old.
right. Wow. So you still have a lot of memories from Jamaica.
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Yes, and I still have family there.
Yeah.
So yes, yes,
Yeah. I
Jamaica.
know my sister. She came here when she was like 2. I have another older sister. She came here like 3. So I know a lot of people who are parents. The parents, like obviously my parents are from Jamaica. I wasn't born there. So I know sometimes it staggers. Like people come here when they're like 12, 15, 3, 0, like when they were babies. So, so being born in Jamaica, where did your idea or love or passion for the law come from? Where did that start? How you
Great
first introduced
question.
to the profession?
So I actually did not know this until my mom reminded me when I think I was in high school trying to figure out what college to go to.
Mm-hmm.
But she said that when I was 4 or 5, my dad asked me like, "What do you want to be when I grow up?" And I told him I want to be a lawyer. I
Mm-hmm.
don't remember that because I grew up on the countryside of Jamaica.
Uh-huh.
Definitely didn't have any lawyers in my family.
Right.
I don't even remember if we had a TV then, but no, no, really. So I don't know where the idea would have came from.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was, something that God placed in my heart. I will say that growing up, I was always the person to advocate for others, whether it was like the child being bullied on the playground or me speaking up in church about my opinions
Mm-hmm.
or things like that. Like I've just always been the person to advocate for others and to be vocal about the things that I'm passionate about. So that's I think the inception of me having some idea that I wanted to be a lawyer.
Yeah.
And then got to college. I was actually studying forensic science
Oh.
initially, so
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I thought I wanted to be like on the crime scene collecting DNA and doing all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized like science is not my thing. So kind of pivoted.
You went to them classes and you were like, "Oh, this is a bit too much. I wasn't trying
It's
to
too
do
much. Exactly.
man."
Um, so and then in the back of my mind, I always, thought about being a lawyer, but I think the work that was associated with it and how much reading I always heard you have to do in law school, and it just seemed very laborious. And I'm just like, I don't know if I'm cut out for this. But got to John Jay, and they have a pre-law institute, and that kind of like re-inspired me, like, maybe I can actually do this. And the more that I took classes pertaining to law and politics and those type of classes, it just reignited my passion for law. And that's, when my journey to law school kind of began.
Yeah. Did you have like mentors through college to show you what you need to do to like get into law school and to become a lawyer? Like, or did you already know a lot of that stuff? Like, did you know the process of like LSAT and all those things?
I absolutely did not know the process. I have no lawyers in my family.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, I had no reference, like literally just learning this as I go, and which is one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about building relationships with people who are pre-law or people even in high
Mm,
school or middle school.
yeah.
My brother and I, we have a scholarship foundation, and when people tell me that they are interested in going to law school, I get so excited and I
Mm,
open up myself to be a resource to them because people in our community simply don't have uh, access to information as others do. So,
yeah.
yes, to answer your question, I learned it as I was going. John
Mm,
Jay has a phenomenal pre-law institute, and I became a member there. Professor Davidson, who I believe he's still at John Jay. He was very instrumental in helping me to prepare for the LSAT, help me with my personal statement, and just
Mm,
figuring out how to actually get to law school. So that was like the biggest push for me in college. And I
yeah.
would say my internship. So at John Jay, I had a judicial internship with Judge Margaret Graves in the
Mm,
Queen's Supreme Court, and
nice.
she's also a John Jay graduate. And I learned a lot about law. I learned a lot
Hmm.
about lawyers. I learned a lot
Hmm.
about the legal industry, and she was so gracious to share with me her story of law school and her legal secretary at the time, no, her law clerk at the time, who's now also a judge in that same court, um, Judge McGregor. They kind of took me under their arms, and they were a huge support to me. So very grateful for those mentorships.
Yeah. Was there anything significant that happened in those internships that confirmed your love for the law? 'Cause I know when I was doing different internships, there was things along the way that I was like, okay, yeah, I want to keep doing this. Like this is there was some boring parts, especially like sitting in certain hearings. I'm like, man, this is boring. Like, do I really want this? But there was still like, okay, there's things that happen. I'm like, okay, these are confirmations. This is God sending confirmation that I'm on the right path. Did any of those things happen while you were at John Jay, still figuring things out?
Uh, I would say by that point, I kind of knew that, okay, I really want to be a lawyer. My
Hmm.
internship experiences kind of narrowed what my interests were.
Yeah.
So, um, I got a chance to work in family court. I got to sit in criminal hearings and judicial um, hearings or juvenile delinquency
Hmm.
cases. And I realized quickly, like, I don't think I could be a criminal lawyer. It was just emotionally taxing, especially seeing a
Hmm.
lot of, people that look like us, young, particularly black males
Yeah.
go in and out of the system. And sometimes I felt like, if they had different counsel, maybe they would be in a better situation, or if the
Facts.
laws were different. So
Hmm.
those experiences, they, helped me to narrow, like, okay, I don't want to do this area of law. I don't want to represent these type of people. It helped me kind of put my interests in perspective. So it was helpful in doing that. And then even just understanding how the system works, right? Like there's so many moving parts. You can have impact and change in different ways. You could be a lawyer or you could be a legislator. You can help to write the bills or the statutes that are
Hmm.
impacting people's real lives. It kind of just broadened my eyes in terms of how our society actually works and
Yeah.
the if different areas in which we can and should, strive to have change and impact.
Yeah. That's dope. So you finally get to law school. You spoke a little bit about you leaving your job because that 1 L year is tough, and it is. What made 1 L so tough? Like somebody that's going to law school right now, going to their 1L year, what should they expect? What was your experience?
So my experience, it was multifaceted. So this was the first time that I was leaving home. So I'm originally from
Mm,
New York, went to UDC, so in
yeah, yeah.
Washington D.C.
Gang, gang. Yep.
Leaving my right, gang, gang, leaving my family for the first time, that was very challenging.
Hmm.
And I remember like because I did Jumpstart, so I came in during the summer. I took
Mm,
Civ Pro,
yeah.
so I was calling home every day, like, oh my gosh, like I hate it here. I don't know anyone. Like I want to come home. And then one day, my brother was just like, "You do know no one is forcing you to do this."
Mm.
And it's like I knew nobody
Your
was
brother be
forcing me.
dropping gems out of nowhere. Your
Probably
brother be killing it with these one liners, man.
he does. So I don't know. That just left the impact on me. I'm like,
Yeah.
literally, no one is forcing me to do this. Like
Mm,
I'm here because I want to be here. Like, why am I complaining about doing something that I actually want? Like, I'm making a choice to be here.
hmm.
And that kind of like shift my perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
Um, so that was really helpful in me adjusting in terms of just like the social part of it
Yeah.
and becoming more open to making new friends and just embracing the city, being in a different space. Anyone that's going away for law school or even college for the first time, I would say like that's a huge part of it is just recognize that like you're doing this for a reason. You're not doing this as like punishment. So make the best of it and embrace it. 1L was challenging because you're learning a lot. You're learning the law, but you're also learning in an environment that is extremely competitive. So one of the skills, and I'm sure you could testify of this, one of the skills is really learning how to block out the noise. Like when you get to law school, it's very competitive. You have people who are gunning for law review. You have people who are gunning
Mm-hmm.
for this position at a big firm during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
Or, everyone is just there with a hunger and
Yeah.
a vision and very ambitious. So it's a lot of competition. And
Hmm.
I think you have to learn to kind of block that out. And it's not just a skill for law school, it's a skill that you use on the bar exam. Because when you get to the bar exam, there's so much anxiety filling that room that if you don't know how to block the noise out, it
Mm-hmm.
could easily get to you and it will impact your test taking abilities. And you bring that to you when you go to practice. If you're in
Mm-hmm.
private practice, it's very competitive. People who are there want to become partners, or you have bill requirements. It's a profession that has a lot of pressure and stress, and I
Yeah.
think 1L year is the first real introduction of how to handle all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that was like my experience for law school, and particularly 1L year is just learning
Mm-hmm.
how to be mentally strong and to block out a lot of the noise that comes with this profession.
Yeah. My mentor described it as like everyone is fast. He said he went to like an NFL game, and I think one of his friends was in the NFL, and he talked about the biggest thing was that he was the man in high school and college. Like he was like top dog, or he could separate himself. When you get to the NFL, we're all professionals. Everyone is fast. Everyone is big. Everyone is can jump high. Like how can you separate yourself from the rest? I think it's the same thing with law school. Like if you made it into law school, you're definitely smart. You like you said, you're definitely ambitious. You know how to study. You know how to work. You know how to do all these things. There's something about you that allowed you to get here. How can you separate yourself amongst the pack? Like you said, while still blocking out the noise, while still not like comparing yourself to other people and still running your own race. So that's definitely important. Yeah.
That's such a great analogy. Everyone is fast. You're right. Because you might be coming from a college. Yeah, like you might be coming from a college where like you were the star person, and then you get to law school, and it's like this is just a group of all the star people.
Exactly, 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 exactly. You had we all in DC. You had to pass the LSAT. Everybody felt like they was the mans in they college or whatever. And then especially as it gets more niche, like you said, whether you're doing law review or whether you're doing mock trial or you're doing big law or you're doing this thing, the more niche it goes, the more people feel like, oh, I'm good at this thing. So it's like you're still surrounding yourself, which has its pros and its cons. But like you're right. You're everyone's the star in that field. How can you separate yourself? Um, why did you choose to not go to law school in New York? Why did you come to DC?
You want the honest answer or the
Yeah,
politically correct answer?
honest answer. Only the honest answers on the whole lawyer podcast.
Oh, man, so I took the LSAT like 4 or 5 times. Yeah,
They
I
only tell
took.
you to take it twice. You had 4 or 5.
No, I had to take it. Like I wasn't going to anybody's law school with the grade. I had no choice.
Oh man, yeah, I feel you. I
And
feel
this
you.
is really to say, like in college, I was an A student. Like I did great in
Mm-hmm.
college. In law school, I did great. Like I
Yeah.
graduated cum laude,
Mm-hmm.
and it really just goes to show like a test does not define you. You can be a star student, but if you haven't mastered test taken, you can be disappointed with your scores, and it's not
Yes.
a reflection of how smart you are.
Yes.
So I think that's what happened to me the 4 or 5 times that I took the LSAT, and then and then I ended up in DC because I think this was like on try 3 or 4,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just like, I'm taking this test one more time, God, and like whatever the score is, that's just what it's gonna be. I took the test.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't do great. I did a little better, but I didn't do great. And I literally
Yeah.
like Googled what schools can I get into and which
Mm.
schools like affordable.
Yeah.
Um, yes. So actually in 2015, I got accepted to Hofstra Law School. So I actually went to like the first day,
Oh,
the
for real?
first day of school. I did.
Wow.
And then I found out that like my loans fell through and like my family just couldn't afford it. So
Hostage is expensive. Yeah.
yes. So
Mm.
I deferred. It was supposed to be a year deferral that turned into 4 years.
Wow.
And then yeah, so after I took the LSAT for the last time, I literally just like looked up schools. This time I was like, I'm willing to go beyond New York because initially I was looking at schools in New York, so like Cardozo,
Mm-hmm.
Hofstra, Fordham,
Mm-hmm.
and UDC came up as one of the schools that's like most affordable. And you know, the model at UDC is that they look at the whole person, not just
Yeah.
your LSAT scores. And I really like that. I think that that was one of the things that sold me on UDC and the small community. I felt like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to expect going into law school, but it seems like the school is about community. They care more about the person and the public interest work, and us is the HBCU. So yeah, that's pretty much how I ended up in DC and not
Yeah.
New York, which is the
Nah, that's
greatest decision ever.
really. Why'd you say that?
I just think UDC is a great school. I think
Yeah.
that we learn a lot. I think that the professors are fabulous.
Mm.
Um, when we go to take the bar is the equalizer. So whether you went to Yale or Harvard, we all sit for the same exam. And I
Mm-hmm.
think the fact that we are both licensed in our respective jurisdictions, we can say that we are competent. Um, and I like even seeing how other people write. Sometimes when I'm like reading briefs and stuff and I see like they went to Ivy League schools, I'm just like, man, my classmates write better briefs than this. Like, you know,
What they teaching over there?
it's
Yeah. Yeah.
I think we're prepared for the legal world and we graduate not with this debt that is crushing to us, you know?
Yeah.
UDC offers I'm like the spokesperson for UDC at this point.
No, no,
But I'm just so
like an
grateful
infomercial.
because like I know I'm so grateful because I was able to graduate debt free from like need based
Facts.
scholarships to merit scholarships.
Yeah.
Being able to graduate law school debt free is such a blessing.
Yes.
Like it gives you a one up.
Yeah.
Yes. So I have colleagues and friends that are, in very stressful careers and jobs, and unfortunately, they don't have the flexibility to leave because they have crippling debt, student loan debts.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm grateful to God and to UDC to be able to graduate without having debt.
That's real. And I always say being in DC was also a blessing because the Howards and the American and the Georgetowns. But when we go to events, we went to panels, when we went to networking events or whatever, we was all in the same room. Sure, I know, sure, American and Howard had their like school specific things. But when we was out here networking, competing, and going to Black Caucus weekend and all these different type of things, we was all in the same room. So I got to be in the same room, paying way less money. I still got to compete. I still got to rub shoulders with who I need to rub shoulders with, get connections. And like you said, the moment your foot is in the door, now I'm just selling myself. I'm not selling my school. I now have to show what can I offer you, and I know I'm competent. I know I'm good, so that's going to be enough to push you forward. But I do think it's sometimes it's probably New York to all the big cities, as opposed to if you went to like a small school like Indiana, you kind of you got to figure out in Indiana. But we all in DC, we all in the capital. We have access to politics, Congress, all these different type of things. Yeah.
Yes, and I think it's what you said. It's kind of like it's what you make of it. I think
Mm-hmm.
once you have the degree, it really is what you make of it. I think,
Yeah.
especially in this day and age where, we're not showing up as much in person because everything is so digital and people don't like
Mm-hmm.
have conversations as much. The people
Yeah.
that show up and are comfortable having conversation, those are the people that are getting ahead. So
Facts.
do not note to the young world. We're young too, but like coming into
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
industry, like do not be tricked by like, oh, we're in the digital age, like everything needs to be on Zoom. No, the people that show up and the people that can have conversations and the people that are bold enough, like those are the people who will get the opportunity. So show up.
No, that's facts. That's good. So you made a great point about test taking and these standardized tests, and it's very annoying. So the big equalizer, like you said, was the bar exam. Do you have a bar exam horror story? Anything that went wrong while you were either studying or on the actual test?
Yes. Um, so I think it's probably two things. So right after graduation, my
Mm-hmm.
grandma, who is like the love of my life,
Mm,
she passed away like two
yeah.
weeks after the bar exam. I mean,
Rest in peace.
after graduating law school.
Yeah.
So that was like a big, you know, wrench in the plan.
Yeah.
So studying while like grieving, that was a
Yeah.
challenge. And then, you know, going to lay her to rest and having to come back and like traveling and all that
Mm,
stuff during that time was very challenging. So I actually
mm.
missed the bar the first time by 6 points, and boy was I crying. I'm
Sheesh.
like, I couldn't find 6 points to just give me.
I could have scrounged up 6 points for your boy. Dang, six
No.
points.
So that was very challenging to miss it by
That's
that.
honestly at 6 points is still actually really good in light of what you were going through at that time. Like that's not something easy to do.
Yeah, but then when you think like, okay, this means that I have to study
Do it
again,
again. Yeah.
do
Yeah.
it again, and then
Yeah.
also plug TUDC for this because
Mm-hmm.
they offered students stipends to study after law school. So it's like, okay, I had more grace being able to not work and
Mm-hmm.
have the stipend, while studying the first time. Second time, like by this time, I've actually started working full time. So it's like going to work full time while having billable requirements, which means that you have to work a certain amount of hours, and then having to study at night. Very,
Jeez.
very hard. So it
So sorry. So
was,
so did your job allow you to? They were waiting for you to for your bar results to like officially hire you, or were you in that type of program, or how was that working?
no, no, thankfully I was not in like a contingency type program.
Mm,
And I also had a relationship with them prior to law school, so they were very gracious,
nice.
which I was very grateful for. But the
Mm-hmm.
reality of it is that like I still had responsibilities. Like I still have billable hours that I had to account for. Like I had to make that. I did take, I think it was like a week or two before the exam. I took time off to actually study for the exam. And the
Smart.
second
Yeah.
thing, the second point that I think kind of, I don't know if it went wrong, but it was another hurdle. So the portal opened to register for the exam the second time I was going to take it, which was in February. And New York City, which is the location that I would have applied for, it got filled in like minutes. So by the time I went to register, the only slots that were available was Buffalo. You know, Buffalo is a trek.
It's upstate. It's gonna take some
Right.
time.
So
Who
I'm
the
just
fuck go to
like, oh man,
Buffalo?
I did not plan for this. In Buffalo in February, like
Oh
it was super
man.
cold.
Like who gonna take me on the
Right.
Buffalo?
Right.
Yo.
So yeah, I didn't plan for that, but ended up taking it in Buffalo, and in
Mm-hmm.
retrospect, it was the best decision. I ended up
Mm,
kind of making it out of like a trip, so I stayed at a really nice hotel, which is
okay.
kind of like a gift to myself. Like at least I could be comfortable.
Yeah.
Yes, and they had a snowstorm. Flight got canceled when it was time to come home. I had to spend an extra night. It was a whole thing, but yeah, that was not fun. But we passed the second time, so
That's the second time. There you go. That's all that matters. That's all that matters.
that's all that matters.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. It's crazy the amount of bar horror stories I've heard. Something like what was it, the Murphy's Law? Like something bad what could happen, something will happen. Like all these barriers. And not just with the bar exam, but with law school in general. You think that all you're gonna do is focus on law school. Like I'm gonna keep my head in my books, but it's like life be lifing. Like you can't. Life doesn't allow you to just only focus on law school. You got family issues. You got different things going on in your world, and how can you deal with all that, keep that in check, and also still be locked in? Because I got a final exam next Tuesday, and I got the bar exam to start. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Yeah,
It really is.
yeah. Yeah. So you passed the bar finally. Did you have a welcome to the law field experience? Like you obviously been preparing for this since John Jay, but there's nothing like actually practicing. There's nothing like actually doing the work. Was there a moment where you were practicing like, oh, okay, I'm a lawyer now. Like this is real.
Um, I don't know if there's like a moment,
Mm-hmm.
but I'll say maybe it's in the little moments, like the little moments and
Mm-hmm.
like showing up at court and seeing people from like our community, like,
Yeah.
they give you that look like, that like I see
A proud look.
the proud look, like that just
Yeah.
warms my heart. Like the older
Yeah.
people,
Mm-hmm.
in the building I used to work in, there's this older gentleman. I'm not sure if he's Nigerian or he's of African descent, but he knew I was a lawyer. And every time like I would walk into the building, he would just be so proud, like "Good morning," and just like, it felt
Mm-hmm.
like a grandfather just
Yeah.
being so
Yeah.
proud. Um, but in those moments, it's just a reflection of like how far we've come as a people,
Man.
and to be able to be in the spaces that we are, and to have the access and the knowledge to help people, um, people from our communities, people who are
Mm-hmm.
underserved, just people who are in need.
Yeah.
Those are the moments that I'm like, I am a lawyer, and I'm happy that I'm in this space that I have opportunity. So yes. And Dean Hutchins actually told me something that stuck with me. She said, when you become a lawyer, even in law school, like there will be moments that you don't feel confident, or you feel insecure and not prepared. But she always says, like, if you're not going to use your voice at the table, give up your seat. And that, I know Dean Hutchins,
Damn.
she
She be
yeah,
yeah,
she
she be spitting.
yeah,
She was spitting. Shout
she
out to
does.
Dean Hutchins,
Yeah.
man.
Shout out to
She
Dean
be spitting.
Hutchins, but I never forgot that. So I
Yeah.
show up in every space, like, the fact that we're here, it's 5% of us. So if you're not going to use your voice, then give up your seat to someone else who, will
Yeah.
have the courage to do so. Because there are people who are dependent on us, whether it's to be
Yeah.
an inspiration or to actually like advocate for them.
Yeah. That's real. I had a similar moment. But this is actually recent. Obviously, being out here in Arizona, there's definitely not a lot of us out here. And I was doing a hearing, and I'm walking back to leave, and this older black lady was sitting there. She like grabbed my hand, and she looked at me. She said, "Son, you're doing so well. You're doing so great." But then she goes, "But you speak so fast. You gotta slow down. You gotta slow down." But it was like you said, like that auntie feel, that grandma feels like, "Yo, I'ma hype you up, but let me give you some." And I doubt she's a lawyer. I think she's there for something else. But she was like, "I see this black man doing his thing. Let me just speak some
Yes,
wisdom. Like, you're doing so well, but you gotta slow down. You speak so fast." So nah, you're right. I love those moments. I love those moments that acknowledge of that understanding of like, we're here, and I'm proud of you, and we're doing our thing. That's fire.
yes.
So I do want to
There
speak
are
a little bit
moments
about
that,
yeah.
oh, I'm sorry.
No,
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 I
go
was
ahead.
going to say, in moments, I remember I had a moment where someone came into the office and they thought I was a paralegal. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
no, I'm the attorney. Like that was like a moment. I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, like I remember when I really used to be the paralegal, but I'm actually the attorney now.
Shout out to all the paralegals who became lawyers, man. There's a special pipeline that don't get talked about enough. The ones who grinded as a paralegal, law clerks, legal assistants to the
Mhm.
lawyer pipeline. And there's no shade to paralegals, but there's paralegals who want that to be their full career. When I was a paralegal in the state attorney's office in DC, I call them the OGs. There's paralegals that have been there for like 20 years, and they just loved what they do. And they're beasts at it
Yeah,
because I had to learn from them. They had all the information. Like, you have to learn from the
right.
people who've been in for a long time. But there's a special pipeline from paralegals to lawyers who, like, we grinded it out. We started from the bottom, and now
I agree.
yeah, we need to start a little club, a little paralegal to lawyer club. Yes, I do want to speak a little bit about your entertainment law. I mean, you spoke about the client that you recently got, which is fire. I do want to speak about your entertainment law. Definitely fascinated with entertainment law and sports law and representing clients, stuff like that. How did you get into the entertainment law space? Like, how did that pique your interest?
Sure. So I actually have a lot of friends who are in the entertainment world, whether they're musicians or
Mm-hmm.
one of my cousins, she was a tour manager for like
Mm-hmm.
a huge artist. So like growing up, I remember like going to concerts and just being around musicians. I grew up in church. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of my cousins play instruments, so music has always been.
Did you sing?
Um,
Did you sing in a choir, worship leader?
I was on the choir.
Hey, okay, I got you. Alto.
Used to do praise and worship.
Let me. I'm gonna
So
guess. I'm gonna guess you an alto. Alto.
you're right.
Come on, I know. Listen, church kid, man. I
You're
be knowing.
right.
I can spot them.
Yes. Yes, yes. So music has always been a passion of mine. It's
Hmm.
been something that's always been around me. And I like even in law school, like once people found out I was actually in law school, like I would have friends like send me stuff like, can you look at this contract? Can you do
Yeah,
this? So it's like always been something that has kind of come to me.
yeah, yeah.
And like I said, I think that this journey for me has just been very spiritual. I feel like it's my purpose and my calling. And in some ways, I feel God like pushing me into this space more. So that's kind of like how it happened, just by me being around the people that I was around, and like I would look at contracts and I'm like, this is like really interesting. Like the idea of like
Hmm.
licensing and like using music. Do you control the music? Do you not control the music? Like using contract to kind of dictate how much of your rights or your the things that you're creating, whether it's film or music,
Hmm.
like using a legal document to control that is really fascinating to me.
Yeah.
So the more that I learned about it, is the more my interest peaked and continues to peak. So
Hmm.
yes, I'm really enjoying it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's been really good.
Has it been harder into the music space in terms of like streaming and now major labels are getting into streaming and all these and AI and different like that? Like, have you encountered how to calculate that or how to understand that when it comes to representing your clients or reading over these contracts? How has that learning curve been?
So particularly with AI, because number one, it's not as regulated. It's kind of like the wild, wild west, right? We're trying
Yeah.
to figure out like what are the rules, and if there are rules, how are they enforced? So
Hmm.
those are the issues that are really at play right now, and I think that legal bodies are trying to figure that out. So
Hmm.
we're in an interesting space because it's kind of like you are working without clear rules. So
Yeah.
while advising your clients, those are things that you have to think about, like the risks and the rewards.
Hmm.
I actually just did a sat in on a CLE. They were talking about music that has been composed by AI systems. It's like who
Hmm.
is the owner of it? If it's
Yeah.
created by like an AI system, is it the person that put in whatever the musical composition is, or is it the person who you like? It's just so much questions about the ownership of things like that. We're seeing that even with production, with film companies. So yeah, those are things that we have to think about, and
Hmm.
there is no like bright line rule like this is the rule. This it's just evolving, and
Yeah.
it's evolving at such a fast rate that the law hasn't caught up as yet.
Yeah. And you're obviously not doing this all under your own firm, which is fire. So you said you started in September, last September.
Officially.
Officially last September. So how many months is that? Is that like 5 months? Is that 6 months so far?
Hmm.
What is the biggest thing you've learned as an entrepreneur, specifically like running your own law firm? Like, what's the biggest lesson you've learned so far in like your 6 months?
The biggest lesson I've learned in the last 6 months, probably to trust myself. I think I've a lot of it. So I think learning the legal side of it is kind of the easier part, because one, you could go to CLEs, you could learn it, like you could study it. That's the easy part. It's like taking
Mm-hmm.
a test, right? Like you learn it and then you regurgitate it. You learn it,
Yeah.
you figure out how to make the arguments in a brief. You learn it and you say these are the rules, and you advise your client accordingly. So that part of it is like the easier part if you don't have the answers.
Mm-hmm.
Having good mentors, being connected to organizations such as the bar. Big
Mm-hmm.
fan of uh, the bar association. So I advise, law students and attorneys to join a bar association, a
Yeah.
community of people. So that has been like the easier part to actually learn the
Yeah.
rules, especially
Yeah.
pivoting from what I was doing before, which is kind of completely different.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the biggest challenge for me probably has just been to learn to trust myself, right? So coming out of a system where I was like a first year or like a junior associate, there's always someone above me that I could go and ask the question, right? Like I could go to a partner, or I could draft a brief, but it would be the partner's name that is filing it, or I
Mm-hmm.
always had some type of covering under someone else. In this space now, like that is
It's all on
me.
you. It's all on you.
So it's
Ain't
all
nobody
on
else to go
me.
to. Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. So it's really just learning to trust myself, and um it's been challenging, but it's also been rewarding and just becoming more confident, not just as a lawyer, but as an individual. So
Mm,
learning when to say to your client, I'm not sure of that answer. Let me
mm,
do some research and get back to you. Like you don't have to know all the answers,
yeah,
but a big thing for me is to just be honest and be upfront, and you build a relationship with your clients where they can trust you. They can say like, she might not have the answers right now, but I know that she's going to educate herself and she's going to come back with the answers and advising me the best way possible. So just trust in myself that I'm capable, and it doesn't matter if we're going up against like a quote unquote big firm or whatever. Like we're competent, we're able, and I have
yeah.
God, so
Facts. That's all you
that's
need.
the secret sauce.
The secrets. Nah, that's why I commend you so much for that. I feel like that's a leap that people underestimate. Obviously, a lot of people don't do it because they're terrified, but there's a reason why it's terrifying. As you spoke about, like having that covering, there is some solace and like almost like a training wheels or like a parachute that if I file something wrong or if I write something wrong or something goes on, there's somebody I could go to that can like, oh, I've seen this hundreds of times. I know how to do that. Or go to this person. Or they could point you like five other people. But being in a space where all lands on you, obviously you have connections and relationships, but being in a space where your name is on the letterhead and everything falls back on you, that's not something light. Like there's a lot of pressure, that's a lot of weight. So for you to jump out and do it on your own and hang your own shingle, that's amazing because it's not easy. I know it's not easy. I know it's terrifying, but the fact that you're out here doing it and killing it, that's amazing. And a lot of people are going to be inspired by that. There's people at my job who recently left. They're like, "Oh, I'm about to go start my own thing." It's something they've been going over in their heads for years. The woman who recently left, she was at my job for like 10 years before I even got there. These are things that people are mulling over and trying to like wait for the perfect time and different things like that. You out here doing it. You out here doing the thing. So that's fire.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's challenging. I think it's been very rewarding because like one of the things that I love most about this transition is that like I now have more control over my time and my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was like very stressed out working in corporate, like super stressed out. At times like it takes a toll on your health.
Mm-hmm.
You're not able to show up for yourself or your family. You miss birthday parties and you miss
Mm,
important moments. And that's just not how I want to live my life. We only live one time. So I want to be able to, you know, live how I want to live. Like if you say, Kadian, I'm in New York, I should be able to say, okay, I'm closing out my calendar for today and I'm making time for something else. Like, just
yeah.
having more control over my life has been very rewarding and something that I'm so grateful.
It's funny you say that. Do you feel like there's a misconception about entrepreneurship? Because when I see things or like I compare the two of like working in corporate or working for somebody and being on your own, it feels like there's a trade off. Like, yeah, if you work in corporate, you're gonna be working long hours, but if you're an entrepreneur, it feels like you're gonna be working like 24/7 because like we talked about, it's all on you. So you got to be finding the clients, you got to be doing all it feels like it's never ending because you're always working. Or do you feel like that's not necessarily the case? Like, for you, you've found a way to make strides in entrepreneurship and you're not working 24/7.
So I think you are kind of always working, but
Mm-hmm.
like the work is something that I would do anyways. So
Mm-hmm.
like going out is something that I enjoy going out. I enjoy meeting people. I have friends
Mm-hmm.
in different spaces. So like I have friends who are in film, or like friends
Yeah.
who are one of my close friends like work at a radio station and they're always
Mm-hmm.
having events.
Mm-hmm.
So whereas when I'm in corporate, it's like, oh, I can't come to that event because I have to work late tonight. Like now I could go. I'm technically working because I could meet my next client there, but it doesn't really feel like work because it's something that I enjoy doing. Uh, and just like even the types of cases that I'm working on, like I'm actually excited about the work that I'm doing.
Fire.
One of my clients is coming out with a film. I'll share the link with you and you can watch it and let me know.
Yeah.
So I represent a film production company, and that's like really fascinating to me to be able to represent them, but also to like see how passionate they are about the work they're doing and
Mm-hmm.
creating, and then seeing it on the screen. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's exciting to me. So even though I'm working and I'm drafting contracts and I'm doing all this thing, I might be up late. It doesn't really feel like work. Whereas in corporate, it's like, this is burning me out because I'm really just working to meet an hourly requirement.
Churn and burn. That like this
Yes.
daily. Yeah. Yeah. No, that's amazing. I'm happy for you for that. I think that's the goal that everybody's trying to get to, especially as you're in this profession and you're learning more about what you like and what you don't like. The goal is like to find a space where you actually enjoy doing what you're doing while getting to use your skills that you worked so hard for, paid all this money for, and spent all this time and energy into. Like, that's fire. That's
Yeah.
really good.
But don't get a misconstrued too. There are very challenging moments, right? So as an entrepreneur, there is no I'm getting paid every 2 weeks. Like you have to
Talk
go
about
and
that. Yeah, the money flow.
what do they say? They say you eat what you kill.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what it is. Like it's not like I think when you're at regular jobs, it's like, okay, I know I'm getting paid in 2 weeks. You could plan your life according to your
Yeah.
salary. Like as an entrepreneur, there's no cap in how much you can make, but there's also a fear in what if I don't make enough
The
and have
floor is
responsibilities.
the floor. The floor is
The
low.
floor is the
Like,
floor.
the floor could be zero if you wait.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's the it's hard being a corporate, it's hard being an entrepreneur. You
Yeah.
just have to figure out which hard you're going to choose. Yeah.
Was that a big learning curve? Like having to fix, like not switch around your finances? Because like just health insurance, bills are still coming out at the same time. Like, how was that switching around your finances to like fit the entrepreneur? Whereas like some months I'm making this much, and the next month I'm not making as much, or there's an influx of this month and the up and downs of it. How are you able to adjust your finances in that way?
Great question. I'm actually still navigating that because this is
Mm-hmm.
all pretty new. I would say
Yeah.
a huge blessing is being able to have assets, right? So whether that's
Them
stocks
acres in
or real estate,
Pennsylvania, boy. Them acres in
but
Pennsylvania be coming handy, man.
but even that is work, right? Because you have to deal with tenants. You have to
Yeah.
deal with like tenants moved out. Now you have to figure out how to
Mm-hmm.
repair the place. That's money getting back in. Like it's all work. But it has been a blessing to be able to have flexibility in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also a good nugget because
Mm-hmm.
I think sometimes you started with the intro saying that like this podcast is about the whole lawyer. And that speaks to finances too, right? Like when I had to pivot to start my own firm, and to, really go down this route, because I had already had relationships, because I already, had, some assets in some way,
Mm-hmm.
I had more flexibility. I think a lot of times people like put their all into one thing, and if that thing is pulled out from under you, like if your only relationships are at work, you have
Mm,
nothing sometimes, you
yeah,
know? If
yeah.
you put
Mm.
everything into one thing and that thing is taken away, you have nothing. So I think one of the biggest things for me,
Diversify
like
income. Yeah.
diversify income, diversify relationships outside
Mm,
of your job, out like people that it doesn't matter where life takes you, you know that like I have this person I can call on, I have that person.
yeah,
Like those are really, really important things.
yeah.
But diversify your income.
That's smart. That's real good. Again, I think that's another reason why some people maybe feel like they're stuck at their job because they can't even fathom that paycheck not hitting on the first and the 15th. Like if like, I don't want to have to deal with that. That's a consistent thing that I know I could depend on. I do feel like it's a barrier for people who may have an entrepreneurship dream, but they're like, I need that check to come at the same time. But it could be scary of like, so ain't nothing coming in this month, or not as
No, it
much
is
coming in this month.
it's scary. It's scary. It's scary. And I think the thing that keeps me grounded is I really feel like this is my call, so I have like no choice but to
Yeah.
walk this out. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
feel like it's something that God has called me to. So I
Yeah.
know He would never let me fail. I know that like He supplied all my needs. So,
Preach.
in the moments
Mm-hmm.
that I'm like, oh, this month it's looking kind of shaky, I
Mm-hmm.
just kind of, have to lean on my faith to remind
Yeah,
myself how I even got here. So,
that's real. And remembering that God has always showed up. I have to remind myself and even take myself even all the way back to high school of like this kid who had this dream to do a thing and went all out for it, and God literally just making a way. So when you're at a point in your life right now where you feel like, oh, like the fear or the doubt might come, remember what God has already brought you through. Remember how He's made a way. Like people say, like He hasn't brought you this far to take you this far. So the same way He showed up in law school, at John Jay, on that internship, at that bar exam, He's going to take you through this journey too, and He's going to make a way. He's not going to just drop this fear of like being just dropped off at the side of the road, broke, with no food. It's like God's like, have you ever been in that position? Have you led you there? Like I've been carrying this whole time. Chill. I got you.
Right.
I got you.
That's so good.
Yeah. So there's a perfect way to end the pod. Before we go, actually, before I do that, tell me, where do you see the Townsend law firm in 5 years? Do you have a 5-year plan in your head? Where do you see yourself in 5 years with this firm?
Honestly, I think if you would ask me that like top of last year, I'd probably be like, when I have my firm, I see blah blah. But now I feel like I don't really know, but I know it's going to be great. I'm being honest. It's going to be great because the things that I think, like the things that I thought would have taken me years, God has allowed to happen in months. Like I have a physical location in New York City, like on 6th Avenue, like a block away from Central Park, a block over from 5th Avenue. That's what I'm saying. Like,
let them know. That's fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't know how to answer that question.
Come on,
I don't know how to answer that question. Like, to represent the people that I represent, it's like I would have thought that would come like year 10.
Wow.
You know, like I'm just
now the ceiling is even higher. Like
we're on the radio.
Oh, sky's the limit.
Like yes, we have an ad on the radio. I've done a couple of interviews. They aired 2 weeks ago.
You gotta send me that too. I gotta see that. That's dope.
Yes, I'll send it to you for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just know it's going to be grand. I know it's going to be grand, and
I love that.
I'm just trying to do the work to make sure that like my character stays intact, like the essence of who I am stays intact, so that when God takes me to whatever height He sees fit, that like I don't fall and I have the grace to maintain it at whatever level. But I know that if like this is how He started it off, it's just up from here.
Sky's the limit. Yeah. I love that. All right. Now we can officially end it. I love that's fire. But before we end, we have the closing argument. And it's basically you're leaving the audience with one last nugget. It could be something that we talked about, so something that you want to share from your heart. But like I said, the audience is baby lawyers, law students, and the layperson who's interested in this world. Close us out with a closing argument. But you have to use the word of the day. And the word of the day is primordial. Primordial. And you have to use this word in your closing argument. That is the challenge. So take all the time we need. I cannot tell you the definition of the word. You just have to use. You just have to use.
I was like,
that lawyer brain that the Lord gave you to context clues and add it in there somewhere.
Can you use it in a sentence?
Can I use it in a sentence? No, I cannot. Stop spelling me. I cannot use it in a sentence because that will kind of, give you a little bit too much. Audio. Let me see if I can give you. It is it's an adjective. I'll give you that. It's an adjective. Primordial.
Okay, give me a second.
Take your time.
Okay. So to the audience of the whole Lawyers podcast, in closing, I submit for your consideration that you are more than a law student. You're more than an aspiring lawyer. You are more than a lawyer. You are a whole person, and that should show up in everything that you do. Remain passionate. Find something you're passionate about, whether it's a podcast or a nonprofit, whatever you do. Find joy in doing it, and diversify your finances. in a primordial way. I don't know. Yeah, I rest.
Kadian Townsend, ladies and gentlemen. Primordial. You used it right. So I want to make sure I heard you correctly. You said prioritize your finances in a primordial way. Is that what you
Yes,
said?
yes, or
I feel
primordially.
like
Yeah.
that's a good way. Primordial means existing at or from the beginning of time. Basic, fundamental, in the earliest stage of development. So I see what you did. Use the pre-pride first. So prioritize your finances. Make sure that's one of the basics. That's a fundamental of what you're trying to do. Prioritize your finances. Make sure that finances are primordial. So you use it correctly. Good job. Look at you, killing out here. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being on the
That
pod.
was fun.
Yeah, I'm sure it definitely was fun, and I'm sure the audience learned a lot, especially from your journey and everything you're doing right now. It's fire. Keep killing it, and thank you for being on the podcast.
Thank you, my pleasure, and keep going. This is very necessary. So shout out to you.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.